What is up, guys? TLG here, doing our Last of Us Part 2 impressions. So I got obviously myself, and also we got Kevin in the call. So what's up, Kevin?
What's up, man?
Yeah. So well, mostly it's gonna be Kevin's impressions on the game, because for me, the only impressions I have with this game is mostly just the story. Because I
Yeah,
don't.
you only watched it. Yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
play
I
it.
only watched a playthrough of it because I'm not much of a horror type guy. So I was like,
It's not even horror. It's just like, well,
I mean, it
in this,
has like some
well,
jump scares and stuff, and so it kind of
not
turned me off a little bit.
kinda.
I know. Yeah,
Pussy.
call me a pussy all you want. All right.
Chat, call him a pussy.
I mean, you know what? I don't really care. I mean, you can go right on ahead with
Pussy. Now let me stop.
that. Just, imagine Blake comes in like right now, be like pussy, and then leaves.
He's in. That's something Mar would do.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, but you just finished the story on you're watching your playthrough, right? Who'd
Yeah.
you watch?
I watched Beastie.
Ah, good choice. Good choice.
He was so fun to watch him playing through the game.
I just got to this one part of the game where I wanted to see his reaction because I saw everyone's reaction on playing the game as much as I possibly could, and so Beastie's playthrough where he got to that what was like that Resident Evil wannabe dude, like his playthrough was so much fun to watch. I just finished watching Uberhaxer Nova's playthrough, and his thoughts are pretty much the same thing as mine, so I'm excited to get into it.
Okay, so obviously, again, like I said earlier, I only watched the playthrough of the game, but Kevin here actually played through the whole game. So.
I actually bought the game.
Wait, Kevin, when did you beat this game? Like, did you remember like how many days
I beat it. When did I beat it? I got it a day after it released, and I beat it like a week in.
A weekend, so.
So I beat it in like 9 days.
All right, 9 days. It's not that bad.
No, I beat it. Let's see. I bought it. When did I get? I bought it the day after it came out, after we got home from the beach trip, and then I beat it that weekend. Like that week. So I beat it in like 5 or 6 days.
Okay, that's.
But let me tell you, that game is long.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
It's funny because the first game is only about what 10 hours, 15 hours, but in this game it drags on and on, like it drags. Like I had to take breaks on breaks within this game.
Like how many hours in the day did you play this game?
I would sit down around like as soon as I got home from work, I would sit down, play it. It was around I would play maybe 3 or 4 hours into the game. Then I would take a break, stop, eat something, watch some YouTube videos, go back in, and then I'll play maybe another hour or two, and then go to sleep and repeat it the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got like halfway through the game and looked up how long this game was, and I'm like, oh, I'm not even like halfway done with it yet. And I'm like, damn, I have this many hours left to go. Shit. Might as well strap in. Because this is going to be a long one. Because up to that point, I was like, damn, this game is already starting to drag. So how long is this game? I looked up and I'm like, Jesus!
Yeah, I think it's like roughly 25 hours, I believe. 20 to 25 hours.
It's around 25 hours just for the story, but if you want to go and collect everything that you possibly can, it's around maybe 30 hours.
Yeah, or like 100% the game, it would take you even
if
more
you
hours.
Want 100%, if you want 100% the game, oh my god, I deleted The Last of Us Part 2 after I beat it because I had to save space for Ghost of Tsushima anyway. So I got as much as I possibly could, but I did get this one cheat where it's like I got to change their outfits. And it was really cool.
Alright, that's cool.
That's the only thing I got.
Alright, but what's your impressions on the whole game so far? Because you told me, obviously off stream about this, and well, kind of surprised, but not surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone else is surprised when they saw the leaks and they saw the review scores. This game is trash. This game is absolutely trash. I did not like this game at all.
What? Kevin, the biggest Last of Us fan, actually hates
really
the second part? Oh my god, that's shocking.
Yeah, shocker. If you read online, everyone knows that this is Neil Druckmann's biggest failure in terms of narrative storytelling. I'll tell you that much. Because the gameplay is pretty much the same thing. New weapons, I just see them as different like skin models. Nothing really is different. Except maybe like the rope thing. But even then, that's few and far between, so nothing really innovative in terms of the gameplay. But I didn't like this game. Okay, first of all, we all knew someone was gonna die, and we figured that it was gonna be Joel. From the leaks, you knew Joel was gonna die. I didn't look at the leaks. I wanted to stay leak-free, so I didn't look it up at all. But I saw like everyone's like Metacritic score of like a 3.4, 2.1, whatever it was, and I didn't listen to him. I really should have, because this game.
And you know what's funny though is because me and Kai, we actually pranked you in the Skype chat to where like we were like saying, yo, let's pretend like let's tell Kevin that the game is trash, and then literally when you beat the game, me and Kai were like, oh shit.
Like, this game is absolutely trash. I hate it, and I hate saying that it's trash because The Last of Us 1 is my favorite game of all time. Like, I love The Last of Us Part 1. Part 1 is my favorite video game of all time, next to like Red Dead 2. But the reason why it doesn't do good in the okay, first of all, before we get into it, let's just get the good things out of the way first. Graphics are amazing. The soundtrack is alright.
The gameplay.
The gameplay is pretty much the same thing. Nothing changes. Oh wait, there isn't one thing you can do. You can go prone now by holding circle. Wow!
Oh my god.
Yeah, that honestly comes into play a lot, but other than that, nothing really changes in terms of gameplay, which is expected because I don't think you can have like a driving section or flying section or whatever it was like in other games. But other than that, gameplay is relatively the same. It's pretty much the same thing.
All right.
The narrative of the story, though.
Yeah. Now we're about to get into.
That's a different story.
Get into bigger.
That's all. That's the reason why we're doing this whole discussion thing, because I swear to God, this fucking game gives me nightmares.
It really gives you nightmares? Does it really?
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying.
Okay.
It's really that bad. The reason why it's bad, and everyone knows it's bad, is because Neil Druckmann took a risk and it didn't pay off. The pacing of the game is terrible.
See, that's honestly, I kind of disagree with the pacing a little bit.
Really? You think the pacing is good in the game?
I mean, again, like I said, like I only seen a playthrough of the game, so if I watch just the cutscenes alone, I think the pacing of itself is fine. But I mean, it's kind of hard for me because it's like, you know, it doesn't even with the cutscenes, you still have the gameplay to go through, and so I don't think it's like really fair just to judge it by like, you know, in terms of like, oh, like how does it progress from cutscene to cutscene? So
yeah, I will say this though. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I'll let you talk about the pacing about it because obviously you play the
Yeah.
game, so I should keep my mouth
Yeah,
shut.
the-
So zip.
Yeah, the pacing of the game is trash because they want you to care about Abby and Lev and Mel and all these characters from like the second point of the game, and they have all these flashbacks. You play as Abby super early into the game, and while we're playing it, we're like, hey, who's this chick? And then we realize that, hey, that's the chick who killed Joel. Spoilers at this point. If you don't know what happened to The Last of Us, screw you. You're gonna listen to it anyway.
Yeah, this is like a spoiler.
This is spoilers, like major spoilers.
Yeah, so if you haven't beaten The Last of Us Part 2, then why are you watching the video?
Why are you watching this? And most people just ignore that and watch it anyway. But okay.
All right.
But Abby kills Joel. We all know this. You play as her super early into the game, and you play as Ellie for like 6 hours, or however many hours you play, up until Seattle Day 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, and then as soon as Abby as Abby infiltrates the theater where Abby and Dina and Jesse is and Tommy, you go all the way back to day 1 to play as Abby, to go through her story, a la Metal Gear Solid 2. That's like the biggest inspiration of the game, because Neil Druckmann literally said he had inspiration from that game into this game.
To where like you would have like 2 characters, you know.
Yeah.
Like you play the perspective from 2 characters and see like how they go through within these days or well in this case days.
How their storyline went, how their story went, and yeah.
Yeah, like what's going on? Like while this character's doing this, what's the other character doing in the meantime? Basically.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And at that, I thought at first I was like, oh no, how long is this? We're probably going to switch back and forth with it, but no. As soon as it gets to where Abby gets to the theater, where Abby has already gone through so much of this stuff. But here's the thing that I don't like. You have to kill enemies to progress through the video game, right? That's how a video game works. You do stuff to progress through the game, right?
Yeah.
How in the hell are you supposed to kill the dogs in the game from Ellie's point of view, to you feeling sad that you killed the dogs in Abby's point of view, but you had to do it anyway to progress through the game?
Yeah, exactly. Like
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because the thing that like I see where you're coming from, but like when I see Ellie's perspective in Seattle Day 3, where you know she goes to the aquarium where Owen and Mel are in right now, you know, Ellie gets in, and then the first thing she encounters is obviously the dog.
Alice.
Yeah, Alice, the dog, and so obviously Alice is attacking Ellie. Ellie kills Alice.
Ellie kills the dog.
Yeah,
Ellie kills Alice.
Yeah, and then like when you go into Abby's perspective, when you play like her Seattle Day 1 with her, and then when she sees the dog, then you're like, oh
Yeah, you
man,
see
like
all
you
the-
feel
see all
like
the dogs,
like you're
like-
like, oh no, you
It's
you know
damn,
what's gonna
I
happen.
killed those dogs.
Yeah, like you know what's gonna happen. It's like, oh man.
You're like, why did I do that? But you had to do it to progress through the game anyway. So it makes me feel like it's like you're forced to feel these feelings, but you don't. It's just like it makes no sense to me.
I think it's because like in like this game in particular, like it makes you do things that you don't want to do. Like I think that's kind of the whole point of this game. Is like
Yeah, it forces you to do things that you really do not want to do.
yeah, it's kind of like I know I'm like going immediately right towards the end of the game, but it's like
that's fine. That's fine.
yeah, but it's like sort of like the big final fight between Ellie and Abby, to where you know they're both
The first one or the second one?
the second one, because the second one you're controlling Ellie, whereas the first one you were controlling Abby. But I think the second
and the first one you're controlling Abby. Where are you talking about? Where they're in the theater? Or are you talking about where in the water?
in the water.
Okay, then you're playing as Ellie. Okay, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, because obviously they're both fighting, and then you know at some point Abby bites Ellie's her pinky,
Fingers.
yeah, her pinky
Her
and
pinky
her ring
and
finger
her ring finger.
off, which I'm like, I honestly did not expect that to happen.
I didn't expect that. I was like, what? As soon as I was like at 3 in the morning. I was like, oh, what's going to happen? It wasn't 3. It was like I was like around like 11 o'clock, whenever it was.
Mhm.
I looked at that I looked at Abby ripping off Ellie's finger. I was like, oh god! I was like, oh shit!
And then the point where like Ellie was drowning Abby to death, you know, like.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, this is it, this is it.
I feel.
And then.
Because I think, because Kevin, you were like, what did you feel about Abby? Like, did you like her? Did you hated her?
I wanted to like her, but like, 'cause I understand what they were doing. I understand what Neil Druckmann and all of those guys were doing. They made a character that we didn't want to play, but we had to play to see her story and see how it paralleled with Ellie's. And at that point, I liked that idea, but they didn't flesh out the characters enough to make me care. That's my main issue. They didn't like have pacing. They didn't have good pacing enough because they didn't flesh out the characters like Mel, Jesse. I like Jesse in the game. Jesse is a cool dude, but he's immediately killed off like it's nothing.
Yeah, like literally, like when Abby's at the theater and then Ellie and Jesse goes to find out what's going on. Then
exactly.
Jesse immediately gets shot in the face.
Jesse's dead. Jesse's dead. And at that point, you're like, oh, what the fuck? And then you immediately think of Tommy, and then you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And then you gotta go through Abby's perspective and go through her entire story with Owen and Mel and Alice and Lev and all those guys. The pacing could have been better. That's like the main thing that I do not like about the game. The pacing could have been a lot better because when you're playing as Ellie and you're going through Seattle and you're going through the streets where you have to go through on Route 5, I like those sections because it gives you a chance to explore Seattle, fight Shamblers, all that stuff. And you're going in solo, so you don't have any AI to worry about. Because that was somehow a big issue in the first game, which I didn't mind at all. But still, looking back at it, I miss those sections with Ellie because playing as Abby for 6.5 hours. Because when you immediately switch to Abby, you want to know what happens next with what's happening in the present. So when you get 3 hours in, you're like, man, why can't I play as Ellie again? But you have to go and you're like, man, I hate this character. And then at that point, they're trying to make you feel sympathy for her by getting Lev and getting the whole, oh, you're my family now with Lev and all that stuff.
And Yara. Like
Yara.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you couldn't think of like the other, like the girl's name, it's Yara.
I was gonna say Yama. But I know that's
Yama.
not right. I was gonna say Yama.
Oh man.
But
yeah, Yara,
where she has her arm cut off. And then Abby and Lev go up to their hideout up on the roof, where they have that giant cliff try not to fall challenge thing going on.
Yeah, like they have a bridge. Well, technically, like they were trying to, like they were going through the hideout, but also to, go to like the lower level to the hospital.
Yeah, they were going to the hospital. But then, like near the hospital, there's this. You've been seeing this all around the game where it's like there's this chick who's graffitied on the wall who was like this savior of the scars, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the scars.
The scars. And what she said got twisted around to the scars to the point where to what the scars are doing now, but that's not what she intended for the scars to do. Like she wanted peace among everyone, but the scars started rebelling and have her own cult-like thing.
And then they got into like a war with the wolves.
Yep. And that's not what she wanted to do, but it happened anyway. And at that point, it's just said, and it's not mentioned ever again. Which I feel like they had more. It makes me think that this story had a lot more going for it, but they had to cut a few.
I mean, maybe that could have been the case, but I feel like for what they were telling here specifically, I think like it kind of like makes sense for like Abby for like to where she's like, I mean, don't want to be involved with this that much, because like obviously at the end of day, or like maybe not at the end of day one, but like in day one, she decides to go and find Owen, aka going AWOL, and so obviously with her going AWOL, obviously Isaac and like all the other wolves are now seeing her as like she betrayed them, because like it's kind of like to where like she's helping the Scars in a way of some sorts, but that's
Yeah.
But she's only doing that because she's like, you know, she at the end of day one, like she had a nightmare to where like the two kids got hanged, and so that's where she kind of was like,
Oh,
yeah, let
yeah.
me go find them, and then, you know, maybe we could figure something out, you know, to where, you know, I'll try to make sure they're safe or something like that.
Yeah.
But to going back earlier, like, you know how like I was mentioning the final fight,
Yeah.
like in the water,
In
like
the water.
yeah, like in my mind when I saw that, it was just so
Yeah,
hard.
I want to hear your thoughts about this. So go ahead.
Yeah, like it was so hard to see Ellie trying to almost kill Abby, because, you know, it's like
After everything you've gone through.
exactly, because it's like, you know, at first
who's
like
the bad guy here?
because here's the thing, at first you would assume it'd be Abby being the bad guy, because, you know, obviously she killed the main character.
She killed the main character of the first game,
which Joel.
was Joel.
Mm-hmm. And so you're thinking, oh man, yo, when we get to the end, when it's Ellie versus Abby, we're about to kick her ass. But
Ellie,
then,
we're about to fuck her up.
but then when you play as Abby's perspective for the 3 days in Seattle, you slowly, well, at least for me, like slowly started to, you know,
You start to warm up.
yeah, slowly started to sympathize with her.
Sympathize. Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah. And so
I was like, is that the right word to you?
no, it is, yeah, sympathizing.
Sympathizing. All right.
Yeah.
But you did you like Abby?
At first, I mean, like again, like at first I hated her, but now I kind of like her now.
Why? Because she gets all the better weapons.
I mean, again, I didn't play the game. Like
You didn't play the game.
Yeah, I'm only
But
talking
did
about the
you-
story perspective.
Yeah. Did you like what's your favorite part about her?
I mean, probably
Like-
my favorite part would probably have to be like probably on Seattle Day 3, to where, you know, she and Yara, they go to the island and try to find Lev, and then like once they find Lev, she, you know, is like, all right, we got to get out of here. And then
Well, when the fire started.
yeah,
Yeah, everyone talks about that fire section. I didn't mind that section, but I was just trying to get out of there because at that point I was so exhausted from playing as fucking Abby. I was like, I don't care, just get me out of here, let me leave, let's go. Like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm already drunk. Let me go.
like I don't care about this war. I want to go back
I'm
to where we
drinking
left
because I'm
off.
playing as this whore. Also, Abby had a sex scene in this game. Do you know how much balls Neil Druckmann had to do to get that into the game? Most likely.
Yeah.
Like he went through hell and back to get that sex scene in there.
Yeah, I mean, in this game it had like 2 sex scenes, but I think that one was like, you know, a little
That
bit
one
more
was like
depth.
that one was like the sex scene where you saw legitimate tits.
Yeah, we
And-
see Abby's tits, but we don't see Ellie's tits.
We
Not
don't
that
see
I not that I
Ellie's
wanted to
tits.
see her tits or anything like that. You know, obviously this.
Oh no, I'd rather see Abby's tits than Ellie's tits because I respect Abby more or Ellie more. Ugh. Oh god, whatever those words come on. No.
Yeah,
I respect Ellie more than Abby.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
one thing I
Oh,
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna also mention that, like, and also like when we find out that one of the doctors at the end of The Last of Us 1, to where, you know,
Oh yeah.
when Joel goes into the surgery room, and then one of the doctors in there being
you have
Abby's
where
dad.
you have to like Abby or Joel killed Abby's parents.
Yeah, and so it's like when obviously when I see that scene to where, you know, Abby goes into the surgery room and sees her dead
Dude,
dad on the floor, that's where it's like, oh, so
Dude.
that's why she wanted revenge on Joel, because
Dude, I wish you could have seen my reaction for the first time with that. I had to pause the game and I was wrapping it around my head for like 15 minutes, just laying down, just have my hands on my head, like, what the fuck's going on here? I was like, you clever bastards, Naughty Dog. I was like, how did you manage to flesh out just a simple character that you had to kill at the very end of the last game into something to what it is now? I was like, you fucking bastards.
yeah. And so obviously because of that, that's what made Abby
That's
decide
what
to go
Abby
on the revenge hunt to find Joel.
Mhm. And to the point where where Abby and Ellie are both on a revenge quest.
Yeah, because I feel like they both are sort of similar in this.
They have-
like they're both
they have parallel.
they're both very parallel to each other, because they both
Yeah.
obviously want revenge for someone that they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Abby losing her dad and Ellie losing Joel.
Yeah, to where Abby
But
wants to kill Joel.
Joel is the reason why Abby lost in the first place, so Abby is more pissed about it more than Ellie is.
Exactly, and
so Abby has a more cut out reason to go after Ellie.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's. Oh.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's just insane. Like, I mean, at first I thought Abby was just like some random person that we didn't know about.
That's what I thought too.
So I was just like, then why? Then like, what's the point? Like, I felt like they would have at least given her like a good backstory, and they did. You know, they really did. You know, they managed to find a way to connect the relationship like between between Joel and Ellie from the first game, just because Joel killed her father in the surgery room.
Yeah. My thing is that the Ellie and Joel relationship is so like they did Joel dirty in this game, man. They did Joel fucking dirty. Like they did not treat him good. Like in the tent scene at the very end of the game where the first Last of Us Part 2 season or teaser happened at E3 at that tent in the party.
Yeah.
Where Seth, where after Ellie and Dina kiss, Seth comes in and is like, hey, this is a family gathering. Oh yeah, you're setting such a great example. And then they start yelling and Joel comes in and then Maria comes in and splits it up and they go for a walk. And then Joel checks in on Ellie, and Ellie's like, I didn't fucking need your help out back there, Joel. And then you made Joel feel feel guilty of it, and you're like, come on, man, you can't do that to Joel.
I mean, Joel is trying to look after Ellie, you know.
That's exactly what's happening. I was like, he was trying to. Oh man, why'd you have to do that to him? Why'd you have to do that to him, man?
Yeah, and you can obviously.
Why'd you have to make him feel guilty? I don't like that.
And you can obviously see how Joel changed over the years. Like, if you see his personality from The Last of Us 1 to The Last of Us 2, it's like.
It's drastically different.
Yeah, because I remember like a lot of people say that you know why people should not think of Joel as like a good guy, that he should be more like a bad guy, because obviously, again, you know, he could have just, you know, not killed the doctors and then Ellie, or like they would like, you know, be able to find a cure for
but
the,
here's the thing,
virus.
you had to kill the surgeon in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other way to progress. There was no other way to do it.
Yeah, and I completely understand that, but it's like, you know,
because imagine this. Imagine you being in Joel's position. You traveled across the country with this 14-year-old girl to save the world, and you grow a bond with her through the adventure you've been through, and you hear on a recording device said that, oh, we have to kill her to get the vaccine. I would be so pissed. And I will go on a rampage just as Joel did. And as soon as I opened that door in the surgeon room, I'll look at the surgeon and I would have killed him too.
And then next thing you know, the surgeon's daughter is gonna come after you and kill you just because you killed her father.
Yeah, but we didn't know that in The Last of Us Part 1.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously now with The Last of Us Part 2,
now
we know.
Now, Joel is dead because you killed Abby's dad.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Abby likes golf. Abby plays golf. Did you see all those memes, by the way?
Oh my god, yeah, I saw some of those memes. I'm just like, damn.
Oh my god. Like, oh, her favorite sport's golf. She loves golf, and I'm like, come on, man.
Actually, I do want to talk about that scene. Like, what were your thoughts on that scene where, you know, Ellie shows up to the place where Joel and Tommy were?
I was, oh my god.
Like, you just, it's like, did you feel comfortable watching that scene? Like, did you?
I don't want to say I felt comfortable. I felt like, I kind of expected Joel to die, because in the teasers, Ellie was like out for, I want to murder every last one of them, because we still didn't know if Joel was going to live or die through all of this. But looking at it in reality, I'm like, oh god, he's going to die. Is he dead? Yep, he's dead. He's dead. But I didn't feel as emotionally attached to him dying as per se when Joel and Ellie had the confrontation with themselves at Joel's place in the first game. to where Ellie was like, every friend that I ever had has ever died or left me except for you. Because the truth is, if you leave me, that'll just make me more scared. Like that scene in the last part 1. And this one, I didn't feel as emotionally attached because I kind of expected it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when the grave happened, I did start to get emotional towards it because I was like, dude, all right. I was starting to like, okay, this is the game. We're going to get revenge for Joel. We're going to fuck Abby up. And then you go through her story and you're like, I don't care about this bitch. I still want to kick her ass.
Yeah, and then for me, obviously for me differently, like if I played through the game, I'd probably be like, I kind of, like when we get to the scene where Abby, shows up to the theater, then you play as her to, go and probably kill Ellie. Obviously she doesn't kill Ellie, but, like you still hurt her, and so I felt like for me, it would be hard for me to do because it's like I like both these characters, and I really hope that, obviously, and it's a good thing, like at the end, like they both live, but like if I didn't know like they were both gonna live, I would have been like very nervous because if one of them dies, then it just sucks.
Yeah. Also, did you notice the little detail of when they finish the game and they go back to the title screen, the boat and the water and the fog is like descending?
Yeah.
Did you notice about that?
Yeah, I saw it.
And like it's at the shore, knowing that Abby and Lev. Yeah,
like it basically symbolizes that they made it to the island that they were supposed to go.
Yeah, they made it to the island. So last was part 3.
I mean,
here's
I was gonna say, like, I mean, how about we still continue on with the story first, and then maybe we could save Last of Us Part 3 at the end.
Here's another thing I don't like about the story.
Okay.
You play Ellie with Seattle Day 2. You're going through Seattle. You're killing all these dogs, people, clickers, what have you. And when you play through Abby's perspective, you think of like, hey, who's the real villain here? Ellie's killing all those people just to get by. But with Abby, you get this cult chick and her brother, and you start to bond with them, and Mel and Owen and all those characters. Abby's the one who cares about everyone. Ellie's just out for revenge. Ellie doesn't have anyone to have her back on.
I mean, obviously Dina's with her.
Well, Dina and Jesse until he dies.
Yeah, because obviously in day 1 it was just Ellie and Dina, and then day 2 Jesse finds
shows
Ellie.
up.
Yeah, he finds Ellie, and then
Which, dude, I hate that Jesse died. I was starting to really enjoy him. Then he's like, oh, he dead. the death scenes are so like quick in this game. You don't have time to think about it either.
Yeah, they're quick and they're brutal.
Oh, they're just brutal. Also, how the hell does Tommy live for all this?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
How the hell does Tommy live for all this? He took a headshot.
Exactly, that's what I thought. I was just like,
he took a headshot and he still lived, and his eyes all fucked up.
Yeah, and then I was like that same thing. I was just like, oh, Tommy's dead.
And then he
that's
showed
great.
up and I'm like, how are you alive?
Yeah, but then I rewatched the scene again, and it turns out that he got shot like on the side of his face.
On the side of the head.
Yeah, so not like a full headshot. It was just a bit on the side, like near his eye.
No, because when I saw it back when they're at the house, I'm like, how the hell are you here? I was literally just like, how the hell are you even here? Like, you should be dead. Why are you here? You juked us like 3 times. Like, you should be dead 3 times over.
Yeah, and also like again, like remember like in day 3 with Abby to where you know how Tommy was like sniping Abby and Manny, and then like eventually Abby finds Tommy, and then he tries to try to beat him up, but then Yara shows up, and then she helps Abby to like pick up Tommy and push him off the dock into the water. Yeah. Like, I knew Tommy wasn't gonna die because obviously we see him like later in the theater, so I was like, okay, yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, like he's fine. How does this guy like? I need his powers. What's he taking? Because I want what he has.
I mean, Tommy's immortal, man.
I mean, Tommy. Last was part 3. Tommy's adventure.
Imagine.
I swear. How can I swear?
They make a spin-off game with
Oh
just you
my
playing as
God.
Tommy.
A spin-off within a spin-off. My God. That would be funny.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Well,
Is
is
it-
there? Oh, sorry. I was gonna
What's
say.
up?
I was gonna say if there's anything in the game that you liked, just like let's just focus. Like let's kind of leave a little bit with the negatives and go into the positives. Like, is there anything
I
like
will-
that you like about?
I
game's
like the
narrative?
enemy types. I like the enemy types in the game. Like the Shamblers, the Bloaters, that giant Resident Evil wannabe dude, Raj.
Yeah, dude. When I saw that, that was like.
Dude, the first time I saw that, I almost screamed. I almost shit my pants.
I mean, I would as well. Like if I saw
Dude,
that
I
shit.
was like, what the fuck is that?
It's like a mutated, infected.
I
Something
was like,
that.
what the hell is that? I was like, what the fuck? The fight itself was fine, but looking at it, I'm like, what the fuck is that? It has babies growing out of its armpits. What the fuck is going on?
I know, it was just like, dude, like like obviously we gotta give them credit for the enemy types in this game.
The
for-
enemy designs in the game are spot on.
Yeah, well, mostly especially for the infected though. Like for the human enemy
for the
archetypes
humans,
are
they're
fine. They're fine.
They're fine. The
They-
runners
nothing
are fine.
stand out or anything. But
The,
like,
the infected, they're cool.
yeah, the clickers are still clickers.
The clickers, I tell you this, the updated designs of the clickers are awesome.
I mean, they still look very weird.
They're still weird, but they're so much better than the designs. Also, a nice little detail: all the clickers designs are all female.
Really, they're all female.
They're all female.
So there's not a single male clicker.
There's not a single male clicker.
Interesting. Unless if the males are like the
Unless the nose like the Shamblers or something.
or the bloaters.
Dude, those bloater fights were tough.
I think like from the playthrough that I've seen someone playing through the game, I think I only saw one or two bloaters and that's it.
Yeah, there's maybe there's one where you go down to the sewers, I think, where the clickers and the wolves fight. I think there's a bloater down there. I know there's one up top where the arcade is.
Yeah, that one was the one I remember the most. Is the part where Ellie goes like into like this little arcade room, and then she finds the bloater.
There's that one. I know there's one where you go down in the dark and there's one in there somewhere. I forgot which one it is, but I think there's only 2 or 3 bloaters in the whole game.
Well, that's a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, at least we do have the Shamblers, so.
The Shamblers they're annoying, man. Let me tell you, they're annoying as shit.
Are they really that annoying?
I mean, they're not annoying to the point. It's just to the point when you're low on health and you have no health kits and you gotta rely on like these bombs, and you have to lure them out. It's annoying, dude. I didn't have too much trouble, but there's the one time where you're down where there are a bunch of spores. I literally I had like no ammo and I had to stealth like all the enemies, all the clickers, all the infected. But I literally fought this one Shambler for a good 10 minutes before I managed to kill because I kept dying.
When Kevin can't beat a Shambler.
Pretty much, man. It was that one. That fucker took me a while to beat, but
I mean, they look very disgusting.
they are ugly. They are ugly, dude.
Yeah, that's kind of also another reason why I didn't play this game because they're really creepy.
Pussy number 2.
Because they're really creepy looking and very disgusting looking as well.
I will say this: the sound is one of the most iconic scenes in gaming.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of the audio side of things, with with how the enemies interact with each other, or obviously the infected making those weird noises. They did a really good job trying to.
Oh, they did an excellent job on it.
Immerse the players into
Yeah.
being like, oh
Also,
wow, we're actually it's it feels like this like a clicker or Shambler or whatever's inside my house or something like that.
Oh yeah, dude. I had my game on home theater, so it just came straight from the TV, and I had that shit all the way turned up. I thought the clicker was right behind me. Dude, I was like, what the fuck?
I mean, there could be a clicker behind you right now.
Oh god! Oh god!
Oh no, it's just Blake. Never mind.
Oh god! Yeah, that's worse.
No offense.
I'd
No,
rather...
no offense to Blake. We love you, man.
We love you, Blake. Also, the audio design, the audio is fantastic in this game. Also, a nice little detail is, you know, when you get the bow, there's this guy that was like world's greatest archer or whatever. He got infected and he's still there. Like, and he turns to the clicker they have to kill. That's him. You have to kill him to get the bow. Like, he got infected and turned into the clicker.
Damn. Yeah, I saw that because I was like, because I know Ellie gets a bow in this game, but I'm like, where did she find the bow?
Because I didn't notice that in the first game. I had to watch Nova's playthrough to realize that, and I was like, wow. I was like, dang, that's awesome. Like, he got bit, but he wanted to stay. Because he would rather turn to a clicker than leave his home.
Damn.
Suicide or something.
I mean, poor choice, but I mean, at least it kind of benefited Ellie because at least she
got
find a bow. A bow and arrows, so there you go.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say this about the skill tree. They dumbed down the listening mode just because of the skill tree. Like, there was no reason for you to, like, you can't use, like, I barely use the listen mode in this game because they downgraded it so hard. They had it at, like, 3 different sections of the skill tree, and it was like 4 or 5 pieces down. So I didn't like the skill tree as much as I thought I would like it. That's another thing I don't like about the game. The whole skill tree thing. The crafting in this game is great though. But the skill tree is, they could have thought that out a bit more. I understand what they were going through, but to me it just didn't work. Also, that one final hit thing, that does nothing. I'm gonna say that right now, that one final hit where it has like little icon in the bottom right corner, that does nothing. So if you're gonna die, just fucking die. And just get your health back. Because I was getting so overwhelmed, and I was like, I see that corner, and I'm like, dude, if that's the case, just fucking kill me.
Okay.
If I'm already dead, just kill me so I can get my health back.
Okay, hold still. Dead.
Perfect, thank you. Now I can take a drink again. But yeah, the skill tree in this game and the listening mode is like, they dumbed down the listening mode at like 3 different sections of the skill tree, which I didn't like that at all. I barely use the listening mode in this game. To where in the first game it was like a godsend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, was the listening mode, like the listening ability better in the first game?
Oh, it was a million. You could like see their movements, their full body, like their full silhouettes and stuff. It was so much better in the first game. But they dumbed it down just so they can put it in a different skill tree. It's that kind of pissed me off. But I guess it would make sense because I don't know, man. I wasn't happy with that.
Okay, that's fine.
I didn't like that at all. But I will say this: the silencer crafting in the game, godsend.
Yeah, because I think oh, actually no. I was thinking like did it require duct tape to find it, or I'm probably thinking of like the arrows.
It was tape. It was tape and something else. I forget what it was, but
like
it was
like
rags and tape, I think. But anyway, you gotta craft a silencer, and I got to the point where you could have like 4 or 5 silencer shots. Oh, that silencer saved my life multiple times over. Multiple times over. I'm a good shot in the game. I gotta say, I'm a good shot.
Okay, then how many headshots did you get?
I didn't check the stats because I deleted the game, but I know I got over 100.
Okay, I was about to say like,
because I looked yeah, I got 1. No, but I looked at it like maybe 3/4 of the way done, and I know I had like over 12 headshots. So I know I got over 100. I probably got around like maybe 130.
And then I also saw like how I think Abby had the better arsenal of weapons to use than
Ellie. Easily, and people were pissed because of it.
Yeah, hell, even Abby had a flamethrower.
How the hell does Abby have a flamethrower and Ellie has nothing? Like, what's that about?
I mean, that proves she's the superior character than Ellie.
It's because because Neil Druckmann wanted people to like Abby more and sympathize with her because she's the newer character.
Yeah, and they got me right there, so there you go.
And I'm like, how the hell does this bitch have like a double-barreled shotgun, and that's better, and like a hunter pistol? Well, Ellie has a fucking revolver that's like I didn't even upgrade yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also Abby has a crossbow and Ellie has a bow and arrow.
I will say this though: the crossbow has better handling, but Ellie's bow does more damage on default. So all in all, the bow for Ellie's better.
But couldn't you craft like the reload speed or?
It was the reload speed,
or like the
draw,
of the.
Yes. I'm just gonna say yes and go on with it.
Yeah, I mean we could be completely wrong, so. I know some people are probably gonna be like, actually, it's this, you fucking idiots.
Actually, it's this. You don't know what this game is like. You fucking. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well for me it's understandable. For Kevin, well, you could roast him. So.
Yeah, roast me. I don't care. Roast me. I don't give a shit.
Okay. Actually, here's something that I just thought about. What did you thought about the flashbacks in the game between, like, both for Ellie's and Abby's perspectives?
I liked the best flashback in the game easily was the Ellie's birthday.
Yes.
Birthday one.
Yes.
And that's the part where The Last of Us Part 2 felt like The Last of Us to me.
Yeah, honestly, like watching like the cutscenes from like that specific flashback where Ellie goes into the museum with Joel, and you know, there's like that one point where they're like in this little space shuttle thing or whatever, and then like Joel puts on, or yeah, he puts on this like space helmet.
He puts on the helmet, and Joel found this like recorder.
Yeah, and then she tells Ellie to close her eyes and imagine that, you know, you're.
That was easily the best flashback. Yeah. Also, if you get the hat and you put it on all the little artifacts, trophy.
Yep, I heard about that.
Trophy.
Also, Blake says, "What's up, guys?"
What's up, Blake?
Blake actually wants to listen to The Last of Us.
Apparently, you're scarier than a clicker. Alan says.
I did not say that.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I mean, like that scene right there, like it's actually it's so good. Like how they handle like this whole flashback sequence for Ellie, it's just so good. Because it kind of like reminds you of like The Last of Us 1, to where, you know, you have the bond between Joel and Ellie, and it's like, oh man, good times. Good times.
That's like the best part of the whole game for me, because it's lighthearted. You have fun with it. You see Joel push Ellie into the water. She gets out, and then you have the option to push Joel into the water. Everyone does it.
And Ellie can actually swim now.
Ellie can swim in this game now, so you don't have to worry about her doing those dumbass puzzles like in the first game. Like, oh, I can't swim. Where's the crate? Okay, I can't get across here. Where's the ladder? The puzzles are a million times better in this game. I don't even think there's too many puzzles in this game. Like, there's rope puzzles, there's ladder. There's this one ladder puzzle in is Abby, where you're in the greenhouse. You gotta go get a ladder to get across the boat.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're
remember that?
Yeah.
Also, I gotta. There's one character in the game that I just cannot stand.
Who is it?
Mel.
Okay. Why don't you like Mel?
I don't like Mel at all.
I mean, Mel for me was fine. Like, she was nothing to speak home about.
Yeah, she's nothing to speak home about. I wanted to like her, but there's this one part where she got to the point where, like, okay, I hate this bitch. You know, after you heal Yara's arm, Mel comes in and, like, you're a piece of shit for leaving everybody, or get out of here before you ruin someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Says the bitch that's pregnant out on patrol in a zombie apocalypse, where she should have just stayed home doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, literally, how is she still, like, on patrol
like,
while she's still pregnant?
How are you still alive?
I mean, she wasn't alive for that long. I mean, literally, that same day, Ellie shows up and kills her and Owen,
yeah. So, I guess that's karma for Mel, but still, it's like, why are you even here? Like, you're fucking pregnant. and you're talking about drinking with that one guy. I don't know. Just at that point, I was like, yeah, fuck this bitch. I don't know. I didn't like, because it's Mel, who I didn't like, Owen, which was fine, I guess.
Owen was pretty cool. I'll admit. Owen was pretty cool.
Owen was fine. Did you like Owen?
I mean, I thought he was pretty cool. I mean, I really do like how like he sort of like his aquariums. Really?
Kinda.
But like I like how like he's pretty much set like his home as the aquarium.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like he finds the aquarium, he's like, you know what, this is my new home now.
Yeah, I love that about like the aquarium is like, because I remember in Kind of Funny's review of it where they keep talking about the aquarium where it's like, oh, it's so many different settings for so many different people, and I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. I didn't think about that like that.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back at it, it's like, it was cool to see the aquarium having all these different like, you know, times of days, and like at night it's like this, and days like that, and you have these mini games in it. And that's really cool. Yeah,
to where like you can do like archery practice in there, like that's pretty cool.
You can do, yeah, I like that a lot. It was I swear to God, they had like a Nerf or Nothing crossbow and had to hide the logos or something.
Yeah, I guess because like, you know, they don't want to be like, oh well, you know, we don't want to be after, you know. Sort of like Abby going, or like Ellie going after Abby in a way.
Yeah. Also, the Easter eggs in this game are spot on.
Yeah, because I know there was like that one girl in Abby's camp to where she had a PS Vita.
You had a PS Vita, and she's playing that one game. I forget what game it's called, but yeah, you can legitimately see it. And the guy,
I think it's a Hotline Miami that she was playing.
Hotline Miami, that's it. And there's one in Abby's campaign where they're in the cafeteria, and you go talk to the guy. He's playing a Vita.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was playing. He also had a Vita.
He's playing a Vita. There's also Jack X Combat Racing in that arcade where the bloater is with Ellie.
Oh, I honestly didn't know. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I had to watch Nova's to notice that, and I was like, I didn't even notice that. That's so cool. But the one thing that really gets me is that since the apocalypse, this is set after 2013, and the apocalypse happened, the first gen PS3 was the only consoles that got shipped and made. So you only see the big, thick Gen 1 PS3 game, the PS3 consoles.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really nice detail because they had Jack's Collection HD and Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3. But I just like how in this world it was past 2013 and they could only make the first generation PS3 consoles. That was really cool.
Yeah, like that's a really, really good detail on Naughty Dog's part. So
like, Naughty Dog is like the king of details for me. Like, I love finding the Easter eggs. I love it.
Was there like a Crash Bandicoot Easter egg?
I don't think so. I think there's one in like if I remember correctly.
In the what?
In the trophies. There's like a trophy called like the... Oh, there is one at the beginning of the game. It's porno.
Porno?
It's like It's the porno. Remember where they find the weed stash? And they find the porn? Like Band E Coot?
Oh yeah.
Dude! There's a Crash reference.
Of course. I mean, they gotta be a Crash Bandicoot reference.
I mean, they're Naughty Dog. Why wouldn't?
I mean, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they made the Crash trilogy, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I almost forgot about that Easter egg, but yeah. Okay, so there's the Crash Bandicoot Easter egg. I just love how they incorporate Crash Bandicoot in almost every single game that they do now, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that they still own like the rights to it or something.
Yeah, even though Crash is on. He's now multi-platform now. He's not like PlayStation exclusive like how it was back in the 90s.
Yeah, if only. Anyway.
Anyways.
I'm not gonna go into that right now. We're talking about not Crash.
Yeah, I was always like, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the Crash Bandicoot discussion.
Welcome to the Crash Bandicoot discussion. That would be funny, but no.
Alright.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Is there anything else that stands out in your watch through?
I mean, I just kind of want to get this out of the way first. Obviously, I want to give a quick shout out to obviously the voice actors and actresses that voice the characters in this game, because.
Oh, Ashley Johnson, Troy Baker.
Yeah, Laura Bailey as Abby.
She got death threats on Instagram.
Yeah, like, oh man, like I'm like,
guys,
really?
don't do that. Like, as much as we hate the character, like, don't do that.
Exactly,
that's just fucked up, man.
Yeah, like, so what? Just because she voices a character that people hate, that doesn't mean doesn't give you the right to, you know, send her death threats.
It's like me hating. God, I forget the dude's name. The guy who played I forgot the dude's name in Red Dead 2. God damn it. Dutch. The guy who played Dutch, he's a bitch, but I don't go hate on his voice actor.
Yeah, because he just voices the character. It's not like...
Also, genuinely good person. I love that guy, I'm just saying.
You like Dutch?
I like Dutch. Dutch is amazing.
But yeah, they did an incredible job with this game. Like,
they did amazing.
Yeah, because it's just like, man, like, the amount of, like, and like, I wouldn't say enthusiasm, but like the amount, like, of effort that they put into their characters, like in specific scenes, like especially like obviously the part where, you know, Ellie's seeing Joel getting murdered right in front of her, and, you know, obviously I think kind of funny Ashley Johnson mentioned it, but it was hard for them to do that scene. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up as well, because like obviously, yeah, I also listened to that a couple of days ago, and yeah,
I listened to that as soon as I finished the game. I was like, okay, what does Kind of Funny say about it?
Because they did their...
I immediately got into it.
Yeah, because they did their own review of it, and then they got the director and the voice
They got
actors.
Neil Druckmann, Ashley Johnson, and Troy Baker on it. Actually, Troy Baker looks... Dude, I'm not gay, but Troy Baker looks great. He looks great for his age. Like, dude. Like, wow. He looks... Good looking dude. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, he looks fine.
Good looking dude. And Ashley is just adorable. I love Ashley.
Yeah, she does a really great job with Ellie.
Yeah, I remember she started to tear up in the Kind of Funny video.
Yeah, because it's just hard, because it's like, you know, because like she's really like playing the character like really well, and so
like she's Ellie. It's like Robert. Yeah. It's like yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, damn, like I could imagine like the amount of, you know, like it was really hard for some of the voice actors to go through with some of these scenes, because it was like surreal, like it was just like insane, and
yeah,
I would feel the same way. Like it would just be very hard for me to, you know, do these
same
scenes,
me,
because like I'm really invested in these characters, and I really hate to see like if this character does this to the other character or something like that. It's just,
yeah,
goddamn.
Also, I saw some really nasty threats to Neil Druckmann the other day. Those things were nasty. I don't like what he did, because he didn't have like a sense of direction for this game, in my opinion. But it was just like, does he really need that much hate? Like, he's gonna make the next Uncharted game, and you're gonna praise him all over. So why hate on him?
Or the next Last of Us Part 3.
Or the next Last of Us, whenever the next Naughty Dog game is out.
I don't know. Like, people are gonna be like, oh my god, I can't wait.
People aren't gonna forget what The Last of Us Part 2 did. People aren't gonna forget this game. Like, this was supposed to be the most anticipated game of all time, next to like Brawl or something. And it turned out to be this.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, that's kind of the reason why I wanted to see a playthrough of this game, because obviously with the amount of controversy with this game getting to where a lot of people like the game, a lot of people hate the game, it's just like, you know what, I want to see what the story is about. But obviously I have to watch the story of The Last of Us 1 first, and then watch the story of this game, just to get a clear understanding on like why do people hate this game so much.
Did you watch The Last of Us Part 1, or did you just go straight to The Last of Us Part 2?
No, I watched The Last of Us Part 1 cutscenes as well.
Alright, word.
Yeah, because I didn't want to watch the second part and
I was
be
gonna
like,
say, you gotta watch The Last of Us Part.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I watched the first one, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I'm not missing much.
All right. So what did you just watch all the cutscenes?
Yeah, same thing. Well, a playthrough as well. Same
Alright.
person. Beastie did it as well, so I watched
Okay.
his
Awesome.
playthrough. Of
Okay.
that game, so.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, it's just oof, man. Like for me, like I thought the story was great because like I really do like the whole revenge plot where it's like, oh, you know, this character killed this character, so now I'm gonna get paid. Now I'm gonna go find this character and you know.
But then you play as her and you go through her perspective of what she's gone through.
Yeah, and so for me, it's like at that point where it's like you hate the Abby at first, but then I slowly starting to like her a little bit, and then when you see both her and Ellie again, then it's like, fuck, you know, why can't they just talk it out?
Dan, like, let's talk it out, man. Let's not fight.
Exactly, like just let's not fight. Let's just talk about it.
And
but I understand Ellie's pain. I understand like her loss that she's going through because of Joel.
Yeah.
Which obviously drives her to, you know,
and
seek
Joel's
Abby for revenge.
And Ellie's been with Joel since she was 14. So it's more of like a longer. They have the same amount because Ellie. I don't know because we don't know how old Abby is.
I feel like Abby could probably either the same age as Ellie or maybe like a year or two older.
A year or two older, because I don't remember them saying how old she is.
I mean, maybe it says it in Wikipedia or something. So.
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, it's just like, because like, they both lost someone they care about, and they both wanted revenge, and then obviously, pretty much most of the game is just Ellie wanting revenge to kill Abby.
Also, like, it's to the point where you're playing as Abby. Ellie's just on a revenge trip. And they're both on a revenge trip, but Abby feels like it's more, oh, you meet all these characters, you go do all these different things with Mel and Owen and Lev and all this stuff. Ellie's all alone. Ellie has nobody left, other than Dina back at the theater. And Jesse, who dies, again.
And Tommy also, don't forget that she has Tommy as well.
Who somehow has powers. I swear to God. That dude has powers. But I don't know. I want to like Abby. I really want to like Abby, but I can't get over the fact that she killed.
She killed
Joel.
Joel.
You're playing like how I would have booked it. I would have made Abby the most brutal villain I've ever made in my life. She would have been killing people. She would have been killing animals. She would have killed her own kind because like they sneeze in her face or something like that. They would have made her a fucking monster. And at the end of the game, where they actually do meet up for the last time, it would be the biggest brawl ever.
Yeah, Ellie versus Abby. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna take the crown?
That's like a fucking WrestleMania match right
I know,
there,
right?
To the death.
It's like
that's like a fucking death battle alone, right there.
It's like the announcer comes out of nowhere, it's like, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the moment you all been waiting for."
There would be like an Easter egg where that happened. Oh my god.
It's like you have like some of the Rattlers and some of the infected are just in the background, just like god. Cheering on. Oh my god.
Oh, that would have been great.
I mean, obviously, it would ruin the mood. Awesome. It obviously would ruin the mood for the game, but it would be hilarious.
Oh my god, that would be great. That would be awesome. Oh my god. But no, I would have seriously have made Abby like the worst villain that Naughty Dog has ever made. Like brutal upon brutal upon brutal with a hunger for burritos. Like I swear to God.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do it, and at the end of it, fighting isn't gonna fix everything.
Yeah, and then at the end,
and I guess at the end it's like, fuck it, go home, get out of here. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, because like obviously.
And
sorry, I'll let you finish, and then I'll.
Yeah, and then I was like, and at the end of it, Ellie goes back to Dina, and Dina left, and alongside of that, Abby broke off her 2 fingers. Where she can't play the guitar, she can't finish the song that reminds her of Joel. So in the end, Ellie lost everything.
Yeah, and then Abby just, she and Lev goes to the island and I guess reunites with the Fireflies.
She goes to the island, and then in the end, Ellie just goes.
Yeah, like, I mean, where is she gonna go? Is she gonna go back to Jackson? Is she gonna go find Dina? Or
My thing is, that's the biggest cliffhanger this franchise has ever done.
And I feel like that
we don't know what's going to happen.
And I feel like that's why it's like 100% guaranteed we could get The Last of Us Part 3.
Yeah, in like 10 years.
Yeah, in like 10, 20 years we'll finally get the third part and see what
2030,
happens.
Last of Us Part 3, finally!
Hopefully it's not crap.
Hopefully it's not shit. Because people are going to, and Neil Druckmann even said this himself, haters are going to hate. Whether you hate the game, whether the game, fans are going to support us who really do like the game, they're going to support us. But at that point in time, you have to listen to criticism at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people aren't just hating to hate. People are legitimately saying, you fucked up, you need to fix this.
I just feel like it's hard for them to fix it though, because obviously a lot of people
That's the thing. How can you fix it?
Yeah, because they can't just bring Joel back in part 3 and be like, oh hey, Joel's back.
Like, oh, it was a joke, Allah.
It's like, oh.
April Fools. Like, how the hell are you gonna?
Yeah, it would ruin the story like immediately right there.
You can't just go a la Endgame and just go to time travel it. But there's multiple ways you can go with The Last of Us Part 3 if they do decide to do it, because Lord knows if there is going to be The Last of Us Part 3, who's going to pick it up?
I mean, I assume we'll still probably play more with Ellie, and then maybe we'll see what happens. Like, maybe it could be several months or several weeks or so since.
Or we can start off right to where we left off.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like that's what I'm
Like,
saying. Like maybe like it could have been like maybe days or weeks or so since Ellie left the house or like the barn where they used to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, I know people who didn't even beat the game. They just got to the barn part and didn't even finish it. Like, they just wanted Ellie to have a peaceful life, so they ended the game right there and didn't pick it up again.
Exactly, because they wanted like a happy ending for Ellie.
They wanted a happy
where,
ending.
You know, Dina are like living together. Dina has her baby.
Yeah, and they were living fine. And then Tommy came around and said, "Hey, Abby's still out there. Let's go fuck her up."
Well, obviously Tommy tells Ellie to go find her. Obviously Tommy can't, because Tommy
can't.
He's like in a little bit of bad shape.
Yeah, he's old.
Well, yeah, it's like he's old, but also like he's in bad shape a little bit, because obviously from what happened to him in Seattle, it's like, you know.
Yeah, he took it. Also, can we just accept the fact that the level of detail of Seattle itself, like the city?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like obviously,
dude,
I
legit looked up like sections of Seattle from this game to Google. It is spot on how much research Naughty Dog did for this game.
Mm-hmm.
So just a big shout out to them for just the city of Seattle in general. Oh my god.
Yeah, from like the buildings to the interior of the buildings to like
the rivers and the boats and
the forests,
the forests. Dude, everything.
Even like the ocean as well.
Oh my god, the ocean. I didn't imagine, because I love jaw-dropping visuals, like just big ones where you just can appreciate the graphics of the game, and The Last of Us Part 2 does not disappoint.
Oh yeah, like it definitely looks like it honestly looks like a PS5 game.
Oh, it should have been a PS5 game, but the fact that it's on the PS4, it's just wow. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much detail goes into that game.
And if they make a Last of Us Part 3, who knows how the graphics are gonna look like
in
that game.
God. With new hardware and you think, oh my god.
But yeah. Oh, you know what I just remembered right now?
What?
And this is something that we probably should have talked a little bit about earlier, but
what?
Okay, so remember how we mentioned about the flashbacks with Ellie and Joel?
Oh yeah.
Well, obviously there is a flashback to where Ellie she's slowly starting to, you know, find out the truth about what happened when, you know, Joel.
Oh, with yep.
Yeah, to where
I
she
know
goes.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, to where like the second flashback where like her and Joel are going to like this hotel or something like that. And then at the end of that flashback, Ellie's kind of slowly starting to realize something's not right. And
like,
then,
hey, what's up?
Yeah, like, cause she was like saying to Joel, like I thought there are other people like me that are immune to the virus.
I like that. I like that they covered that.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, they had a fallout at the beginning of the game to where, you know, they were not really interacting that much, or at least Ellie wasn't interacting with Joel, and so when she goes to the hospital and finds the recorder, and then when Joel shows up, that's where it's like a little bit of an intense scene right there, because it's for Joel, he's like, oh shit, you know, she knows now, so obviously,
or she knows something.
Yeah, because obviously he can't lie to her, because obviously Ellie did say that if he lies to her again, then, you know, she'll just leave.
She's gone.
She'll be gone. But if Joel tells her the truth, I know it's like here she is, like it's getting mixed up a little bit. But
yeah,
like,
just say like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but if Joel tells her the truth, then Ellie will go back to Jackson, but she won't talk to Joel ever again.
And they stay true to it. Like, I'm surprised they actually stay true to it.
Yeah, like even then, like when we get to like near the end of the game, where obviously Joel's just sitting on the patio, and then Ellie shows up, and then they start talking a little bit, and then like, you know,
Joel with his coffee.
Oh yeah, you know, you can't forget about the coffee, you know.
No, it's the coffee. The MVP, the coffee.
Oh man.
The MVP. All right, go ahead.
And then Ellie's just telling Joel, or like Joel's trying to say like, can you forgive me? And obviously Ellie says no, but she can try.
Like she could try. And then she was like, I like that. And then Joel cries like, you had to make my mom cry.
Like oh man, like it's just like really like that was literally like the last interaction these two characters had before
Joel died. And I'm like, the themes of this game is something else, because it's like with revenge, grief, reflection, like just the themes in this game are just incredible. It's like I don't even know how to feel about it. Like I'm trying to sympathize with the game and trying to figure out, I'm trying to understand what the game is trying to like tell me, and like, hey, what's this game seriously about? Because at the end of the game, who's the villain in this game? Like who's the bad guy?
It sort of tells me that there maybe is no villain at all. Like you would expect that there's a villain in this game, like to be Abby, but then it turns out she's not a villain. Then you think it's Ellie that's the villain, but then none of them are the villain. It's just. And
for some reason, there are some people out there that thinks Joel is a bad guy, which I never saw Joel as a bad guy. Even from the first game, I never saw Joel as a bad guy.
I mean, it's, well, I mean, like it's again, it's like going back to like the end of Last of Us 1, where obviously, you know, he kills the surgeons in the room, and obviously because of it, you know, there could have been like a vaccine that would have cured people that were infected, and then the world would have gone back to normal. But because Joel did what he did, they still live in an apocalyptic world.
And people see that as Joel being a bad guy.
Kind of like that, but also like you know how like at the beginning of The Last of Us 1, to where Tommy and his daughter was like, you know, they were trying to, you know, escape the house, and then they find like these people that they got to pick up, and Joel says no, we can't pick them up. Kind of feels like a little bit selfless, or selfish.
Selfish?
Yeah, selfish.
You said selfless earlier.
Selfless, yeah, selfish.
Selfish, which I understand that. I understand what they were doing. Because looking back at it, I look at that scene now and I'm like, okay, I understand why now he's like that.
Yeah.
Like he's selfish. He only cares about himself. He's ignorant. He doesn't care about anyone but himself and Ellie. He just wants to make sure Ellie's safe and blah blah. When Ellie said, we don't.
Yeah, like even at first, like when he met Ellie, you know, he just didn't really care about Ellie.
He wanted nothing to do.
Like he just wanted to, you know, bring her to the Fireflies, and then that's it. He's gone. But then,
like I'm gone. Bye.
Eventually, they build the relationship between these two characters, and then that's where Joel
with optional dialogue, mind you. Optional. Optional.
Yeah.
Which I think that was a great detail in the first game. Optional dialogue.
So.
But
Yeah, and then like obviously how Joel is in Last of Us Part 2, like you sort of see how he changed over the years. So where now
easily.
yeah,
like he's back with Tommy. Like they have this like camp thing going on.
and I find it odd because like when you know like how Abby, you know, she encounters like the horde of infected, and then Tommy and Joel shows up to kind of save her.
Yep.
And then there's like obviously this part, yeah, like well not part, but like you would assume like Joel would have probably been like, why are we trying to here to save Abby? Like, cause you know, again, going back to the whole selfish thing in the first game, you know, that isn't what Joel is. But I mean, I guess, cause again, it's been years since that, so he's sort of like, you know, improving a bit of his character.
He's improving himself.
Yeah, he's proving him as a character to be, you know, a
Yeah.
little bit better now. And you know, if there's anyone that's in danger, he should go save him rather than just ignore them.
Mhm.
So while he did like, you know, change for the better, it sort of cost him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. The more I think about this game, the more I want to sympathize with it. I'll probably eventually go back to it and replay it, but right now I just can't do it.
yeah, I feel like maybe
I just can't do it.
I feel like maybe over time, maybe people will accept for what the story is, and maybe they'll slowly start liking it again. But I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on each individual's perspective on it. So,
Cause it was like first impression at the very end of the game, and people fucking hated it, including myself. Because my initial thoughts was, that's it, like that's fucking it. Like that's how you end this game that we waited years for. You made terrible narrative decisions. You didn't pace the game right. The flashbacks make everything confusing. What? Like the core gameplay is fine. I like the core gameplay, but the story is just something I can't get behind.
yeah, and then
So I don't know how I feel about it.
and then for me, it's great. I mean, granted, the ending is obviously it sucks, but I mean, again, not every ending has to be a happy ending. It can also be a sad ending. So I kind of appreciate it a little bit. So.
Like, name another bad ending from a great game that we still accept to this day. Yeah. Which one? I'm waiting. I'll wait.
He's like, I'll wait.
5 years later.
I mean,
waiting.
I assume there is one. I just can't think of one right now. It's not like an excuse. Like I really don't have a game that's like
The
that.
recent one I can think of is Red Dead 2 from Arthur Morgan's death. But even then, you got to fix yourself before he died.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
So
There's Mass Effect 3. People hate that game because of the ending. Because all the choices you made in the previous game didn't matter.
yeah.
There's Bioshock Infinite, where the ending sucked. I don't know the ending, but I know it sucked. I think you had to pick a side, and either way, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Like it just kind of like I don't know. Like even like the ending is sad. Like it kind of unfortunate for Ellie that she lost everything at the end just because
She
went on the path of
literally
revenge.
lost everything. She lost her fingers. She lost Dina. She lost her kids. She lost Joel. She lost everything. And she just gets up and walks away.
Yeah, so it just I don't know, it just makes me like even more a little bit invested now with if they make a part 3 to where like what's gonna happen in part 3, you know? Is Ellie gonna find Dina? Is she gonna probably find the Fireflies and maybe continue on with like maybe like with the surgery? Because obviously, you know, she did told Joel saying like what's her purpose in life if she can't, you know, be able to help other people out with, you know, trying to cure everyone. So
It sucks to me knowing I don't like the game, but I was so hyped for the game pre-launch. Like for anyone who knows me like personally, you guys know how much I love the first game. And the second game is what it is. And it's just like I don't know, man. I really don't know.
it's like your expectations didn't meet exactly how you wanted them to be.
It didn't. It really didn't. Because I got halfway through the game. Because I was playing Seattle Day 2 with Joel, or not with Joel, with Ellie, and I was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I got the bow, I got all these weapons, I got this, that, and the third. And I was enjoying myself. I was enjoying going solo, collecting everything, beating all the enemies and stuff like that. And I was really getting into the story when Jesse and Tommy got in the mix, and I was enjoying myself. I was really enjoying the game. I was like, okay, this is pacing really good. But after Abby, I was like, oh, now we're gonna go through Abby's perspective. Okay. Let's see how it goes in, I guess. But I was like, oh my god, like, this character is fine. I'm gonna enjoy this. But like in Seattle Day 2 with Abby, I was like, okay, why am I still playing as her? Why am I still playing as her? Why is she getting all the good weapons? Also, in normal difficulty, she gets so many upgrades. She gets so much more upgrades than Ellie does for you to upgrade her weapons faster. I'm like, she gets like an substantial amount more upgrades than Ellie did.
Mm-hmm.
So everything about Abby is better in terms of gameplay, but as a character, I don't know. I have no opinion on her. I guess I have no opinion. I don't like her. I understand what they were doing, but I just didn't like it.
Like you still you still didn't like how, again, her dad dies because of Joel, and she kills Joel because of that.
Yeah, it's just this 9-hole champion player who kills Joel with her winning golf club. I also didn't like how Joel died.
Like, you kind of wish Joel died at like if he was if Joel was gonna die, you would have at least wanted him to die as a hero or something like that.
No, I wouldn't. I want him to die as a hero. I wouldn't cared if he would have gotten killed like out of nowhere. I don't know. It's just looking back at it, it's weird. Like, the scene felt so forced to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you feel like something is forced upon you, and what's gonna happen anyway. It's like, that's kind of how I felt when I watched that scene for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this feels so forced, but I expected it at the same time.
Because it makes sense for a narrative perspective.
Yes, but the fact that it happened so early, for it would have, to say if it would happen at the very end, I feel like my opinion would have changed dramatically. So I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a lot of possibilities that could have happened with the story. There's gonna be like, I guarantee there's gonna be a lot of like fanfics about how the just writing or fanfics, whatever, how the story should have went. And I'm gonna have to try to check that out or go on Twitter or Reddit or whatever to see all the different aspects of how they would write their story or whatever.
Yeah, I assume there's gonna be some people that will probably make a YouTube video or maybe somewhere on Reddit, like sort of them reconstructing the whole narrative of what The Last of Us Part 2 would have been, and how more fans would have appreciated the game more if it was like this instead of what we got at the end of the day.
There's one thing that's gonna be good about The Last of Us Part 2, all the other writings of the story to make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but other than that, I don't think there's much left for me to say, except the gameplay is completely the same as it was. More guns, new weapons. The only new, quote-unquote, new pistol was the Hunter pistol, but even then, that's like the sniper pistol from the first game. It's just a different design. Because you still get the flamethrower, you still get the assault rifle, you still get the bolt action, you still get you get the crossbow, which is new, but that's just another bow and arrow thing. Revolver, the 9mm, the flashbang for Abby. Those are cool. I like those. I like those better than Molotovs from Ellie's. I like the flashbangs more.
Mm-hmm.
I like the new bombs that they have, Ellie, because those are really helpful. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything much left for me to say about it. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I mean, we pretty much discussed most of, like, at least in terms for me, for the story perspective of the game. So I think we pretty much got most of it. I mean, unless there's something that I'm completely missing, then I think it's. I think that's pretty much about it. I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, if they end up making The Last of Us Part 3, hopefully they can make the story a lot better for fans that didn't enjoy the story in this game. So, like you, for example, of course, you didn't enjoy the story in this game. So hopefully, if they make a Part 3, then they'll make it a lot better for you to be like, hey, you know what? I didn't like the story in this game, but you know what? I'll maybe like the story. What they're what narrative direction they're gonna go for the third part.
Yeah, because I'm very, very curious on what you could possibly do with this one. Because where the hell do you go from here?
I guess maybe I feel like maybe the theme for the third part could be redemption.
I guess. I think that because the first game it was about surviving and the bond between Joel and Ellie. This game is about revenge, and the third game would be about redemption for Ellie.
Exactly. Yeah.
She gets robot fingers for herself to play the guitar. I don't know.
She's like a cyborg now.
Oh my god.
0 out of 10. Ellie's a cyborg.
0 out of 10. Ellie's a cyborg. 0 out of 10. Negative 10. Negative 20 out of 10.
Alright, so.
But I'll say this. One thing that I want them to do, and if they do make a third game, is change up the gameplay a little bit. Like, I understand it's all about searching everything, finding supplies, stuff like that, crafting, but find something to really mix things up to me, because in this game it felt like the same. Even on also the difficulty in this game, hard as shit. I'm just saying. Because I went through normal and parts of it went on easy because I kept dying.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It feels like I don't know. I don't know, dude. If they do make The Last of Us Part 3, it better be on redemption. That's the only part that I can seriously think that can go down that route and see if it can work.
Yeah, because honestly, like if the theme in the third part isn't redemption, then I don't know what could be. So I'm not saying it has to be redemption. It just sort of makes it like interesting if they would go with that route, just because of what happened in the second game. So, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, we just gotta wait and see. So if they make a Part 3, so.
Honestly, I hope they do make a Part 3 just to wait to, I don't know, I just hope they make a Part 3. That's pretty much the only thing I can think of. I just hope they make.
Yeah.
But because I want to see what happens next. But as a fan, from what you've been through, it's Sonic 06 all over again. You went through all that just for that. And if there's a Part 3, who's really going to buy after you made them go through all of that? So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much all I got to say about it.
Yeah, because we've been going for like almost an hour and a half, and I'm like, damn, okay, we've been going a little bit longer than expected, but
I didn't even think we were going for an hour, but it went a bit longer than that.
Yep. But I mean, we still had a great conversation talking about it, because obviously ever since I finished watching the whole playthrough of this game, I really wanted to talk to you about the story about this game.
You have no idea how much I wanted to talk about it to people when I first finished the game. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck, man?
Alright, so.
But I watched The Last of Us. I watched the ending 4 different times already, so it's pretty much already ingrained into my mind. But yeah, I'm just glad I finally got a chance to talk about it. I needed to talk about it.
Yeah, you wanted to get it off your chest.
Yeah, I had to get it off my chest, and it feels good to get it off, buddy.
Yep, there you go.
You have no idea.
Alright, so I think we'll probably just leave it up here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the TLG discussion on Kevin's impressions on The Last of Us Part 2, and kind of a little bit on my impressions on the story, but mostly
You're native on the story.
but mostly Kevin's impressions on The Last of Us Part 2 as a whole. So
yeah, the game, like I said, the game itself is fine. The story is just. Anyway, if there's gonna be a part 3, I'll play it, possibly stream it, because I couldn't. For some reason, my PS4 Twitch wouldn't work for The Last of Us Part 2, but yeah, I'm playing through Ghost of Tsushima right now on Twitch, so
yeah, so
do that.
Yeah, so if you want to see Kevin playing through more of Ghost of Tsushima, then make sure to follow us on Twitch. It's in the description below, so make sure to give us a follow.
I might be streaming it tomorrow too. So.
Okay, sweet. So, yeah, you should go give us a follow on Twitch. It would really help out a lot. So. And also, if you guys have any impressions on The Last of Us Part 2, what did you guys think of the whole game, or maybe the story part, or whatever? Then let us know in the comments. You know, it'd be really appreciated if you guys share your opinions on the game and maybe reply and talk a little bit about it or something like that. So.
I know I will.
Oh yeah, Kevin's gonna go all in.
I'm gonna go all out in the comments.
Oh man. But yeah. But without further ado, you know, thank you guys so much for watching the discussion, and we'll see you guys next time for another TLG discussions or another stream of us playing a video game or something like that. So, yeah.